page does it say find H, K, A, B, and C? Do you see it anywhere? Yeah, it doesn't. Guys, that's what you got to know. This is a hyperbola, or excuse me, an ellipse. H, K, A, B, C. That's what that whole Google document on your characteristics of quadrilaterals was about. How do you know which one's A in a hyperbola, or excuse me, a ellipse? A is the bigger one. So of these two, A is 5, B is 2. H is then 0, K is 0, and C is the square root of 21. Remember, when this is plus, that's minus. So this thing asks for your vertices and co-vertices. So your vertices become K plus or minus A. So that would be 0, 5, and 0, negative 5. If that's your vertices, then your co-vertices go the other way. So your co-vertices are H plus or minus B. So your co-vertices are plus or minus 2, 0. Remember, your vertices and your foci go together. So if your vertices are H plus or K plus or minus A, then it's K plus or minus C. So it's 0 plus or minus the square root of 21. So that's all that it asks for right there. Again, guys, here's a hyperbola. Hyperbolas, the biggest thing that you need to know about a hyperbola is how the asymptotes are set up. The asymptotes are set up based on A and B. What is it with a hyperbola? Does anybody remember which one's A?
The smallest one.
The first one, not the least one, the first one. So whatever number's here. So H is 0, K is 0, A is 2, not 4, 2, B is 5, and now you're going to add those two numbers together. So C is the square root of 29. So then you just go to 2/5. So if I'm going to graph this right here, I would go to 0, 0, and then I go up 2 and over 5, and that draws in your asymptotes, down 2 and over 5. And then to get your vertex, I know it's going to open up and down. Why do I know it's going to open up and down? Y squared is first. Guys, it opens around the axis of the number that's first. Now, these are not parabolas, guys. Parabolas don't do this. Parabolas have x squared. This says x minus 3 squared. So this is x squared. Okay? So I got h, I got k, and I got p. Parabolas are different than there. When x is squared, it opens up. That's nothing new. There's a negative, obviously, in front of the thing, so this thing is going to open down. It opens down. Remember, if x is squared, y changes. So h is 3, k is negative 1, and to calculate p, which is negative 1, you set 1 over 4p equal to it. So 1 over 4p equals negative 1. Cross multiplying, you'll find out p is negative 1/4. Then remember, if x is squared, then the y value changes. So if x is squared, the y value is 3 and negative 1 minus a 4, or plus a 4. The directrix would be at y equals k minus p. So k is negative 1, minus p is negative 1/4. So that it ends up y equals 3/4. Y equals, or excuse me, x equals 3. Y equals 3/4, because this is a hyperbola that, or a parabola that opens down. Circles. Circles pretty straightforward. Somebody look at this and tell me the center. Number 8b. Negative 1, 1. Tell me the radius, if that number is 1, what's the square root of 1? 1. Which equation has the coordinates of the foci, number 11 here, the coordinates of the foci of the ellipse? Again, guys, nowhere on the page does it say, tell me what H, K, A, B, and C are. Guys, that's what you got to understand. You got to know, even though it doesn't say list that stuff out, guys, list it out. H is 0. K is 0. A is the square root of 20, which is 2 on the square root of 5. B is the square root of 5. And this is an ellipse that's going to open around the x-axis. 20 minus 5 is 15, so C is the square root of 15. This asks for the foci, so it's H plus or minus C. And the reason I know it's H plus or minus C is because 20 is underneath the X. Again, guys, you need to look back at your characteristics of your conic section Google document. If you don't know what it's supposed to look like, go to my web page. It says it should look like this, and it shows you all this stuff and how you deal with it. Okay, which equation has the vertices of plus or minus 3, and then the foci is at plus or minus 2. Again, H must be 0, K must be 0. According to this, if the vertex is at 3, A is 3. C must be 2. Okay, so the only thing that we're missing here is B. And how you go about finding B is C squared. C squared is equal to C is equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared. So now it's just a matter of calculating it. Okay, so I put my 2 in right there. So that gives me 2 equals the square root of 9 minus B squared. What's next? Square both sides. 4 equals 9 minus B squared. Negative 5 equals negative B squared. And then B is equal to plus or minus the square root of 5. So there's what your B is. So if your B is the square root of 5, what's 5 squared? Or excuse me, square root of 5 squared? 5. So A is 3, B is 5. A is 3, B is 5. A is 3, B is 5. But I know this is happening on the y-axis because of this number right here. Since it's happening on the y-axis, my correct answer has to be D. The bigger number is underneath the axis that it opens around. Okay, there's some pictures here. Again, guys, if I were you, I would go through and make sure you have these pictures right here picked out all over the final, all over it. You got to be able to pick out H, K, A, B, and C. Or in this example, you got to be able to pick out H, K, and R. So it looks like here's 0, 0, so that's H is negative 1, K is positive 1, R, you just count. As I'm not doing any great skills mathematically here. It looks like that's at negative 2, H is negative 2, looks like K is 3, negative 3. And because of this, each one of these is tick marks counts as 2. If I'm going to count my radius, it's 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, and then halfway makes it 7. The directions say to pick out the center, the H and the K, and then write the equation. So this would be pretty quick here. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 4. Where am I getting this from? X plus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared. How am I getting 7 squared is 49? What is that last number out there equal to? R. R. So if that's R, that last number out there is R squared. Guys, I'm not doing, you guys that have figured out a way to make this confusing, it's not really that bad. It's a matter of finding 0, 0 here, so H is negative 1, K is up 1. Just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, that's on the y-axis, so it's going to go with this. So A is going to be 4. Count. 1. So B is going to be 1. 16 minus 1. C is 15. C is 15. C is square root of A squared minus B squared. X plus 1 squared over 1. Y minus 1 squared over 16. What's square root of 16 minus square root of 1? What's 16 minus 1? That's why I said that. Because I'm going to show you pictures on the final exam. There'll be a picture, and it'll ask you what the standard equation looks like. Nowhere is it going to say, hey, when you're finding the standard form of this, it might be a really good thing to write out H, K, A, B, and C. That's what you got to understand as the mathematician. Here's 2, 1. So H is 2, K is 1. Then from there, you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the x-axis, so that means A is going to be 4. This is the shorter line, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be B is 3. 16 minus 9 is 7. So C is the square root of 7. X minus 2 squared over 16. Y minus 1 squared over 9. And there you go. Which axis does this open around? Forget about the answer for a second. Just which axis does this open around? Does it open around the x-axis or y-axis? X is first. Which one does this open around? Up and down here? That's the y. See, look. See that little y right there? That's the y-axis. So y is first. Y squared over A squared minus x squared over B squared equals 1. So now it's just a matter of counting this stuff. And by counting this stuff, I mean, look. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. It opens around the x-axis. X is first, so it's y equals plus or minus B over A. So this must be B, and this must be A. So up 4 is B. Up 4, so it's 16. Up 4 over 3, plus or minus B over AX. That's 4. A is 3. A is the first one. Guys, I'm just counting. Look, I go from the center and I count. Up 2. There's up 2. Over 2. Up 2 over 2. And I'm just counting. That's y squared over A is 2. It's up and it's the same number, so 2 squared is 4 minus x squared over 4 equals 1. Completing the square. Group your x's. X squared plus 12x. Group your y's. Negative 9y minus 36. What do I do with that 36 by itself right there? to the other side. Group your x's, group your y's, move the number to the other side. You x squared plus 6x, or excuse me, 12x plus 36. Add it to the other side. Okay. You factor out your negative 9, and that leaves you with y squared minus 4y. 9 times 4 is 36. That cancels that out. So it would be x plus 6 squared. I'm not going to have enough room. X plus 6 squared over plus, minus 9 times y minus 2 squared equals 72. Divide by 72, and it'll give you what it's equal to. Guys, there's a bunch of probability problems that we're not going to have to do. We just didn't get to them. There's nothing I can do about it, but there is a couple, and I want to make sure you see which they are. I'm going to leave these on here, and you're going to have to be able to answer questions about it. And it's some binomial probability problems. Okay, here's how binomial probability. The first thing is you got to have you got to know the formula for binomial probability. Look up here. NR. The percent you get right to the R. The percent you get wrong to the R. To the N minus R. So in this problem right here, it says, problem number 17. Guys, read 17 and then tell me where you get this stuff from. It says, calculate the probability of randomly guessing the given number of correct answers on a 25 multiple choice test. Look, 25 C12. Where did I get the 25 from? 25 questions. Where did I get the 12 from? The number right. So the percent of right is 0.25. Where did I get that from? How many choices you got? 4. A, B, C, D. So what's the probability? Just guessing you're going to get one of them right. 1/4. How do you write 1/4 using your calculator? That's where that comes from. So if 0.25, you guys did this right. The very first day we ever did these, I said the probability that it was going to rain today was a 25% chance. And there was nobody in here who struggled with this concept. If there's a 25% chance that it is going to rain, what's the chance that it's not going to rain? So that's why I wrote 0.75. And then subtract to the 13. Take your calculator and work it. Take your calculator and punch some buttons. $25, math over to probability. $12 times 0.25 to the 12 times 0.75 to the 13. So 0.7%. Look, move the decimal 2 places. 0.7%. That's the probability of just dumb luck guessing and getting 12 right. Is that going to happen very often? No, not very often. If we did it 100 times, guys, if I passed out a test and gave 25 multiple choice tests, and I said just guess, in all 100 of my students, maybe less than 1% of the time, maybe one person would get 12 right. Would it be exactly 12? No, it'd be fun, Might be 12, might be 13. The more people I did, the closer that would get. But just in general. Is that good? What would you do with 10? Or excuse me, 20. Same thing. Second, you just take all these numbers and make them 20. This would be 20. This would be 20. And now this would be 5. What's this? This is crazy. What kind of number is that? Look what it says. 1.14669 is that e to the negative 8. What does that mean? So, yeah, scientific notation. So move the decimal now, negative 8 places, move it 8 places to the left. 0.000000001. Is that going to happen? No. It's not happening. Could it happen? Yeah. So you see, there's a chance. Let's see how many we can get 10 right on. 10 right. 0.25 to the 10. 0.75 to the 15. Move the decimal. 1, 2. 4.1% of the time I can get 10 right. Mathematical stud question. What if I did 0 right, 1 right, 2 right, 3 right, 4 right, 5 right, 6 right, all the way up to 25 right? What would it all add up to be? 1. It all add up to 1. Guys, if I did it over and over and over, if I took this problem right here and plugged in, like I plugged in 10, like I plugged in 12, like I plugged in, if I had enough time and I could plug in every single one of them, it would work out right for me. And it would be every possibility. Is that okay? Down at the bottom, there's another one. There's another one just like this. It says it a little bit different. You perform a binomial that consists of 20 trials. So 20, what's the probability that it's 7? So 20C7, 0.27, wow, 0.27 to the 7th, 0.73. Where the heck did I get 0.73 from? Yeah, minus 1. 1 minus 0.27 is 73%. So the probability I'm going to do it right is 0.27. Probability it's going to happen a fail is 0.73. And then to the 13th. This says or. So what are you going to have to do with these two probabilities? Or. Nobody? Or means add. And is multiply. So I'm going to have to get this probability, the probability of 7, the probability of